All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for the wait. I know I teased that Will Anderson may get his first game on stream, but we tried to hunt him down in the playing room, and he had already started his next matchup. So we're not going to pick up his board, move it over here, and get it set up. We'll stick with the regularly scheduled Table 1 matchup as Jackson Smylie threatening another runaway in this tournament. Set to play against Jack Peters. And despite the names, Jackson is not Jack Peters' son, nor is he related to him in any way, shape, or form. Thank you very much. I'll be here all day. Jackson to play first here, looking to move up to 11-2, and Jack's struggling to stay over 500 right now. But this is how the pairings work. They're always paired based on 2 rounds beforehand at this stage in the tournament. And so we'll see this matchup for now. Jack trying to stay alive in this tournament. Jackson draws Deeikop. And at least standing out to me right away is the 5-letter Pekoe, Pekoe. Not
Oh, that's a
sure that
nice one.
any other play is anywhere near as good as that one, quite frankly.
Well, as someone with not as much word knowledge as you, I would have probably just gone for poked.
Yeah, no, poke makes a lot of sense in most cases, but if you can avoid holding 2 vowels and scoring basically the same, you ought to do that. So Jackson puts the P down. That could be poked or pico or perhaps even piked. He's got an
We love
E
to
in his
see,
hand.
yeah, we love to see yet another person playing vertically. It's not
Yep,
often you come across people who do that.
I do it. I am a huge advocate of opening vertically because if my opponent spends even 1 second thinking, "Why did he open vertically?" Man, that's annoying. Then I've come out ahead.
The
So,
psychological tactics are off the charts here. Well, I mean, to be fair, Scrabble is a game of psychology. It's not just about the words, it is about reading your opponent. And I wouldn't put it past some opponents to do just that, as you were saying. And for Jack here, I think perhaps just binary, maybe through the E, that the first E in Pico to get some points and clean up that rack a little bit. I know he's only got the one vowel, but he's got to use it.
yeah, no, I think we're almost definitely going to see it play through the E here. It's just a matter of which one. Vinery holds DN, scores 24. Envy holds DINR with the floating E. That's pretty solid as well. Nervy and Veiny are 2 other options for 22, holding either DIN or DNR. And one other nice play for him here as well, Rindy as a quadruple overlap, RINDY. I'm playing alongside keeping things nice and tight. But I think Veiny is a
Rainy
perfectly
is
reasonable
good.
play
Yeah.
here. A DNR, you're going to need a vowel or two to get out of this, but that's almost certain to happen. So
It's
I think there's
early
nothing
game
wrong
and
with
there's
this.
there's an O and an E on the board. I think he should be okay. And for Jackson now, I think a good play would be, well, he's also got the one vowel. Good time for him to, look at his X words. He's got his F and X to the sides, but perhaps maybe mixed MIXT would be a good play here. Making MY and mixed, that is, gonna score him 33 points. But Fox is not bad, 25 points through the O, keeping DILMT. If I were in his position, though, I would want to play mixed, like he's got, on his rack now, just so I can hope for some vowels.
Yeah, mixed plays off more tiles, pulls 4 vowels, can give back like really high scoring overlap plays on top. But Fox makes this game a race to an S. And if I'm Jackson, if I'm the best player in the room, no offense to Jack, but I don't want to race to an S. I don't want to be flipping coins here. I want this game to come down to skill more than luck. So for that reason, I do like mixed here. I like Jackson's play, and I wouldn't hold the T back. I'd put it down as well, make it harder to overlap, and I don't want to hold the T with 3 other consonants. So good choice by Jackson.
Exactly.
I'm a fan.
And sometimes, I mean, it's not really the greatest idea to play scared and to think, oh, if I put the X there, this is bad, and I'm gonna get overlapped. And yes, overlap and what your opponent can score after is a huge part of the consideration of, when you play Scrabble, but you can't play too scared every time, because what you will start ending up doing is giving up equity. You will start giving up the value of the play that you could have made. In fact, when the better play would have been to be just a little aggressive, just a little dangerous, and putting that T there absolutely does make it a lot harder to overlap. So I think for Jack now, a good play would be to just play Vox, VOX, because there isn't a great overlap that he has.
Yeah, once again, Jack going to be forced to keep maybe more consonants than he would like, but Vox is a very solid play. 26 points, stop Jackson from scoring a lot. One other fun option is from the MY. He has Myrmidon, Myrmidon. That's
Oh
32
wow.
points, holds a V. I don't know that that's the right play, but definitely a cool one, and one I would never in a million years see over the board.
Now Jackson's got Jade set up on his rack. I think he's looking at JO and Pico and AE, making Jade down. That will score him a whopping 41 points, keeping EFL. There is, I mean, yeah, I can't think of a better play than that. I think the next best would be something like um, FJELD, failed EF in that. But Jade is, this is a great play by Jackson.
Yeah, no, Jade has to be the move for Jackson here. Far and away the best option for him. Although Jack now going to bingo back. Jack has two available sevens in this rack. I won't say them just quite yet because I know people like to search for things themselves. But here's your warning: hit that mute button if you don't want me to spoil it, because the two sevens are Rimland and Mandrill, Mandril, or Rimland. Both of them play back hooking Jade to make Jaded. Rimland would string the R out in a triple triple. Mandrill would end one space short of the double word. And Mandrill, I believe, let me check. Mandrill, yeah, takes two back hooks, not just the S, but also a second L. Mandrill is valid. So that's what Jack is going to elect to play. But two back hooks there, and Jackson is sitting on an L to hit him back with a big counter play, assuming, and there's not really an assumption with Jackson, I'm certain that Jackson knows Mandrill. So big
Exactly.
bingo for Jack, but he's going to get hit back hard here.
What would you have done, Matt? Do you think you would have played Rimline or Mandrill? Because I personally think I like Mandrill, hoping that my opponent doesn't know the back hooks. But
Yeah, no,
Rimland, I feel like
it
it's a little
absolutely
dangerous.
depends on my opponent. If I'm confident my opponent knows the second L back hook, I'm playing Rimland. So against Jackson, I'm playing Rimland. But if I think there's a chance they miss it, I'm certainly playing Mandrill here and setting myself up for a hook that they may miss. But Jackson definitely will know the back hook, and he's going to hit back with something like Felon or Flow, FLOE, in this turn. Perhaps he could also consider just Elf holding
I like
ENOR.
Elf. Right. I like Elf. ENOR is perfectly fine. I wonder then if Jack is likely to challenge Mandrill with two L's. It is, I mean, Mandrill with two L's is an 8-letter word, and 8-letter words are, studied by the best Scrabble players. Jack Peters here is, no pushover. The question is, does he know the back hooks? And did he play Mandrill knowing these back hooks? Both of them.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows if Jack knows the word? But when Jackson puts something down on you, it's always hard to challenge Jackson because you know his word knowledge is just so good. So Jackson, this is what I would do here. I'd prefer to play one additional tile over playing Elf. ENOR is a reasonably balanced leave, but you've got to have bingo lines, and I don't see too many on this board. So I'd prefer to play off one more tile, give me more shots at points next turn, and give me one more shot at one of the two unseen blanks. All that
I
together, I think
see
makes
that Jack
flow
does
the best
not.
play.
Yeah, I see that Jack doesn't even hold, so he is perfectly fine with that hook. He knows what it is. And now it's up to him to do something with these consonants. Perhaps just Wormer or Wolver. Wolver, Wolver, to the V in Vox, is going to score Jack a whopping 40 points. That's a fantastic play. But Warmer for 30 points is through the M in Mandrill, depending on what Jack sees here. He does have, he does have WOLR lined up on his rack, so I wonder if he's seeing it.
Yeah, Wolver clearing away the best play. It opens this board a lot and can give big counter plays to Jackson. But when it is this good and this high scoring, 40 points, man, you've got to take it. Even if Jackson scores on average about 5 more after it, you're scoring 10 more right now. Take the shot. Wolver's definitely the play here, but it's a tough word to see, a tough word to spot, and a tough word to be confident of, especially on the stream. And I don't think Jack has much experience playing on a stream. He played a great game against me the last time I played a Nationals, but that's all I really know about him. He doesn't have a lot of exposure. we'll see. Wolver definitely, I think, the play to make here. We'll see if Jack is able to pull the trigger on it.
So a wolver is a wolfer, one who hunts wolves. A wolf being a carnivorous mammal. Thank you for that definition, bot. And we're gonna see perhaps wolver come down. It'd be interesting to see Jack play that. I wonder if he's trying to find something that he's a bit more confident about. Something like just owner, maybe down the side of jaded. That would be 32 points, making ODWE ONER. Oh, that is what comes down. Okay.
So owner coming down instead, holding LNR. We've seen Jack do this a number of times now, hold maybe a few more low-scoring consonants than traditional wisdom would say. I'm not sure if this was a miss of Wolver and Wormer or if this was a tactical decision, but I'd imagine Wolver was missed and this was chosen over Wormer for maybe board shaping purposes. But crucially, owner, I believe, is going to block Jackson's bingo of enter lie.
However, it does still give him Lintier for 68. So Jackson comes down with that, nice and easy. This is a high probability bingo. It would have been quite surprising for Jackson to have missed it. And unsurprisingly, you know, we've got yet another bingo from Jackson Smylie.
Jackson bingoing and bingoing and bingoing so far this tournament. Again, if you want to be good at Scrabble, just draw bingos all the time and play them every time you draw them, and it'll be
there. You go. Solve Scrabble.
Yeah.
Now
all
for
right.
Jack. Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
Yeah, just the UI combo for Jack is a bummer to see. You're thinking of bingo and UI, it's very hard to do so. You want to look to get rid of both of these. Yule, I think, far and away the obvious play here. YULE, making ME as well. Open this board up, score 30 points. ANR is a nice little leave for you as well. Could also consider foregoing some points and playing Yule just for 24 to that E if you want, but I say take 30, open this board up. Let's go.
I like Yule. Yeah, I like Yule. I mean, if Looney comes down instead, LUNY, that's perfectly fine too. But I think Yule here is clearly one of the better moves.
Wow, I took the bait. Enter lies, not a word. Oh man.
Oh, no.
This is what happens when I'm bad at Scrabble and I get trolled. All right, chat, keep trolling me. Challenge accepted.
Wait, does this mean you get fired?
Yeah, I think I get fired.
Am I gonna have to be doing this all alone now? Oh boy.
Yeah,
you guys,
all right, well, that's
I'm worse at Scrabble than Matt is. How are we gonna do this?
All right, it was fun. Thanks for entertaining me, everybody. I have now officially been fired, and this will be the Nits show from here on out. Adios.
I do like the sign on that, the Nits show. Oh, okay. So Yule is okay. That's definitely something that Jack sees. This is good. I'm not gonna lie. Coming from the Collins side, I do prefer keeping AER and doing just playing Looney, but Yule is good. I mean, Y in that position is not necessarily going to give back the easiest of triples. So I think this is good.
I think this is fine as well. Yeah, I like this play. I was just trolling you a little bit now, and it's Matt disappeared, or I didn't know. Just actually, my dog was drinking water, and I didn't want everybody to hear that.
I thought you were going to stop that sentence at "my dog was drinking," and I was like, "Why is your dog an alcoholic?" But there we go.
Like
Jackson. We have Jackson with 5 vowels now. Oh, these vowels, they're it's a love-hate relationship, especially in Collins. Here though, with the North American dictionary, I wonder if as chat suggested, Jackson's going to go with something like octavo.
Yeah, octavo, 34 points. Double I is not a good leave. Jackson can't like what that does to the shape of the board, and yet it is such a good play. Definitely the best play for him if he sees it. Other options, Chow, CIAO, down, overlapping Lintier, making AL and OI is another option, but that also opens the board. Jackson has spotted octavo. He's got to play this. He'll look for a little bit, make sure he's not doing anything wrong. But Octavo, really good play, really good find. A lot of people wouldn't think to look through that V. A lot of people wouldn't think to look for a play holding both of their eyes. They'd get locked into playing one off. But again, Jackson doesn't make mistakes like that very often.
I don't
Showing why he's
know.
where he is.
I'm kind of feeling Chow, you know? I'm kind of feeling like it doesn't really matter if he opens his board right now because the board is, you know, it's fine the way that it is. Their scores are quite close. I don't really mind Chow. I don't really want to keep those two eyes.
All right. Well, ciao. It's been a good commenting with you. Bye, Nits. No, just kidding. If you're going to
Thank
play
you.
Chow, I think you go ahead and play Coty instead in the same spot. It's 4 more points. Turns over 1 more tile. And again, 2 unseen blanks right now. I'm all about turning over that extra tile. Yeah, you'd rather IoT to IO as a leave, but I say go for it. Burn the blank, or go for the blank, burn the extra tile.
Well, yeah, I mean, there are 48 unseen tiles for Jackson, which means there's 41 tiles in the bag. More than half the game is over. So, yeah, perhaps turning over more tiles would be the correct move here. I don't know if it's because I'm doing a PhD in Italian history, but I'm just so, you know, I'm really feeling Chow here. I'm
Yeah,
just like,
no.
okay, you know, give me the Italian. Give it to.
It's a good
But then
play.
again,
It's what I would make in this situation because I probably wouldn't see Octavo. But with perfect knowledge, especially with only 2 unseen eyes to Jackson, that double eye is not quite as intimidating as one might
right,
think.
right, exactly. Okay,
Ooh,
but
okay.
Chow. Okay, so he does go with Chow. That's
You get your
interesting.
way.
I actually went inside his brain and gave him like a little brainwave to say, "You're gonna play this, Jackson, even if it's wrong."
Now, it is not against the rules for players to listen to the commentary or the stream and do exactly what we tell them. So, no, just kidding. That actually is against the rules. You cannot do that. And if
Please do
players
not
were doing
cheat.
that, we would have seen a lot of different plays across the course of this tournament.
Now, Jack here has a very, very cool word. If he finds it, it's Argufy, Argufy to the Y in Yule for 39 points, keeping NS if he does so. But instead, he chooses to exchange. Wait, did he choose to exchange? No. He
No,
played.
he
Oh my
played
gosh, I'm so
Shrug.
sorry, you guys.
And
I'm so sorry, you
Jackson
all.
opens the triple triple and then draws the blank. Big baller move. Somebody photoshopped some sunglasses on Jackson right now and a little something smoking in his mouth. He won't actually draw another triple triple. We won't see 2 triple triples in 2 games for Jackson, at least not this turn. But he does draw that blank without playing the T like I recommended. He'll pull a bunch of vowels, and that T is going to be huge. So Chow paying big dividends for Jackson as he'll have a 90-point bingo available, or through the C, he can play, ironically, Inchoate, Incohate, which was Jackson's ISC handle for years.
Wow. Okay. Well, this is if, you know, he gets 90 points if he chooses to look outside of those triples. Those triples can be so enticing, you know. There's 3 on the board. There's a Y to play through, a G to play through, a C to play through. You don't want to be in a position where you're missing 150 or 200 point play. And at this point, you know, looking to the M column for, you know, Akiote, the 90 point play might be something that's not intuitive because you really want to play through that triple.
Achiote, I believe. I think it's a word with its origins in Mexico. So I typically hear that one pronounced achiote.
Oh, my bad. I do not know Nawa.
Yeah.
My
Well,
professor's my advisor's wife, however, does know Nawa. I should, you know, I should get
get
lessons
some
from her. Be like,
clarification
hey,
for us.
how can
Let's
I be
use it
better at
for good.
commentary? Please teach me Nawa.
Yeah, right. So
I should
Achiote
also
plays
learn.
for
Yeah, I
90
should also
points as a
learn.
7 down the M column, making often ear. It plays for 86 if you put the S at the end and play through the floating C. Jackson likely deciding, do I want to block the triple triple or just score 90? Tough decision.
What would you do? I think I would try to block the triple, you know?
I would too.
Yeah, it's just I mean, I know it's 4 points, but I really don't want to have that C out there. It's a little too enticing.
Yeah, and yet for the stream, Jackson, do it for us at home. Play Achiote for 90. Leave all 3 triple triples open. And hey, maybe if we're lucky, Jack will open a 4th one next turn.
That would be insane.
Content. Let's go.
I don't think it's possible to get more content. We just saw Josh Sokol and Jackson Smylie get almost a 1,000 point game between them.
Okay, fine. But I'm all about all content all the time. Content
Okay,
never
that's fair.
stops.
See, this is why they got you to commentate all the games so that we can have content entertainment all the time.
Well, I don't know about entertainment, but you'll get constant bad jokes. I know that much. Self-deprecating joke, take a shot. Oh, just kidding.
Oh, and the pet tax. You also have to show us pictures and videos of your dog, of course.
Oh,
Bad jokes and
absolutely.
dogs go together
He,
hand in
he
hand.
will make numerous unsolicited cameos, don't you worry. He
We
doesn't
love
sing
to
the
see it.
song of his people. He's not quite as vocal in terms of singing, but he barks like nobody's business. Husky things. Jackson doing what we would have done. Achiote's on top. I would have preferred to see Incho 8 just because it's the handle, but this is a better play for him. So Achiote's 86 points, and Jackson will jump ahead by 90, burning the first blank.
But
Man,
that is
Jackson, you just
perfectly
drop every
fine.
blank on stream all day.
I mean, Jack has a perfectly fine and nice play of a gaze to the G. That's in frug. He can play a gaze for 45, and he can start, coming down on that divide, and it comes down pretty quickly.
Yeah, clearing away the best play for him. String that E out as well to give you an opportunity to bingo and get back into this game. Easy play for Jack, and he hits it right away, not wasting any more time. And we'll see what he draws into that NAS, but things make it very interesting, especially as Jackson draws
Oh,
another yucky draw. C, B, C, D, I, P, U, W.
oh, you never want to see that U with your W. But I mean, if I were you, I would probably just get that WU out, make was from that Z that's hanging out there very tantalizingly. Just get it out of the way. I do not want to hold on to that W and that U.
Yeah, no, WUZ makes a ton of sense here. I mean, it's going to keep that line a little bit alive. You don't bingo now from the or to the E, but you can still play bingos in that spot. But the common adage is if you could play wood, you probably should. And once they added WUZ to the dictionary, man, you got to play was here.
You gotta play
Yeah,
was.
just get rid of that WU, play was, keep going on with your life. Jackson's setting up WUD somewhere, but I don't see a spot to even play that
Or
word.
now it's WIZ. Okay, so perhaps he's thinking whiz and keep that U, but I don't know why he would do that.
There's a Q unseen, perhaps.
Perhaps that's why, yeah. There are still, I believe, 22 tiles in the bag. But I don't know if I'd be as fearful of the Q right now because there's a U out in YULE, Yule. So there is still a U to play through. And should he play Woods, he keeps that I for a handy QI play.
Where is the handy QI play is what you have to ask yourself. I'm not sure we're going to see a spot for one. If the U and Yule goes away, if Jackson picks up the Q, suddenly he's in a little bit of a dicey situation again. You figure with BCPD, bingos aren't in play next turn anyway, whether you hold an I or a U. So I actually, the more I look at this, the more I'm like, Jackson should play Wiz, not Was. Was is like obviously the equity play, what you should do. And I think in most situations, I would have just played it right away without thinking. But
Right.
what's the worst thing that can happen to Jackson right now? He gets into some
Well,
trouble with consonants. He draws a Q. Jack bingo's back. Maybe you drop this game. So
in
try to
that
avoid
case, I'm
that.
wondering perhaps maybe he should be trying to get rid of more consonants. I mean, what's perhaps playing something like Cupid, MYC, and Cupid, perhaps for 22 might not be a terrible idea, leaving him with W and B. But he has the opportunity to go for that blank. He has the opportunity to go for the 4 unseen S's. It could perhaps work out for him if he plays a few more tiles.
This is tough. And I'm not really sure what the best thing for Jackson to do here. I think was will always make a lot of sense. Just get rid of WU, score 30, address that E spot a little bit. Wiz, I also really like. The more I stare at this situation, though, I think we want to play short. We want to avoid drawing the Q. And if we do have it, we want to have that U in our back pocket for insurance. Jackson's also probably seeing other potential plays that the U will help set him up for. Maybe he's thinking Scud is better. There are 4 unseen S's, so he's likely to pull one, if not this turn, then in the next turn or two. The U synergizes actually pretty well. Pub, Cud, Cup, all of those are there, whereas the I doesn't give you quite as many short words. And Jackson, with a nice AE pull, is going to work his way out of that rack very quickly.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm still unsure if he should have gotten rid of that U or not. I kind of like was still, well, I mean, this is something that is up to the player themselves, what they choose to, what they choose to play, and every engine is going to tell you something different. You could simulate this forever, and you never really know what the correct answer is because this is not a perfect information game. You don't know what your opponent has. You don't know exactly what you're going to draw next time. So this really is calculated guesstimating, I would say. And for Jack now is a good time for him to play, play off his two ends, maybe just make something like bunny perhaps to the Y and Yule. But I can see that he's got maybe bandy set up, perhaps, or maybe he's thinking of doing bands. Oh, he's thinking of doing brands. Okay, okay.
Interesting.
30 hit points, keeping the UN. Okay, perhaps he's also afraid of the Q, but Bunny, I think, would have been just as good a play, keeping DAS. Perhaps even
Wow.
better.
So Brand's very interesting play. I think Jack maybe likes sticking that S down on that bottom triple, saying, Jackson, you're going to have to do something about it. Play down from the Y or leave me opportunities to bingo back. Let's go back to was versus whiz. As chat points out, if Jackson had played was, he would have pedicabs for like 9,000 points. And instead, he has nothing good. So,
Oof.
that's the problem with holding a U instead of an I. Now, if Jackson had drawn the Q here, he would look like a genius, and instead he looks like a fool simply because of what he's drawn. But again, not a perfect knowledge game. You can't know what's going to happen left, and I think Jackson just trying to dodge the nightmare situation here.
Right.
How
And
funny!
now
How funny!
he can use his E, to make WE. He can play down that lane and hit the triple with something like Abduce, AB. Oh, well, it comes down. Abduce for 47 points. That's a fantastic, fantastic play. And keeping that P and perhaps even going for that blank. Maybe we'll see him pick that up because we know that Jack does not have it.
Jackson is a killer here, and Jackson's one of Jackson's ISC handles was in show 8. His other one, his more classical one, was Squish, SQUUSH, and that
Which
plays for 76 right now. So not a bingo, but scores just like one. Jack needs to see
wow.
that to get back into this game, but that's an absolute killer. And now for content, Jackson, why didn't you play in show 8? We could have had both your handles on the same board. Come on,
He picked up
boo.
that blank though. He picked up that blank though, which is what he needed.
Yeah, Jackson's going to draw every blank on stream. He's got pre-song right now in POI. He's got springes or something like that, to the S in brands as well. Squish is going to block a lot of those, but not all of those.
I wonder what Jack is thinking now because if you don't see Squish immediately, it's hard to see. You don't really have a tendency to put two U's after a Q. I wonder what he's going to try and go for on this board.
Yeah. Squish is very hard to see. You're looking at that U to play your Q, but you're not thinking to go Q, U, U. Like, what? So I wouldn't be surprised if Jack misses Squish here. I think many players would miss it in this situation. And because Jackson's had such an amazing draw, Jack's dead no matter what he does. He can play Squish. Jackson will bingo back with Springe, and the game is over. He can miss his plays here. Jackson's got a bunch of good options. Jackson's going to win this game, but hopefully Squish comes down for Jack. It's a great play, a spread play. I don't know why they're covering their ears and laughing. I hope they're not hearing us. Maybe some weird
It would
noises happened.
Yeah, must be something in the hotel room. I hope the viewers are aware that we are commentating remotely. Matt and I are in separate places. We are not in Vegas. We are spared from the heat and the humidity that is Vegas right now. The players should not be able to hear us.
No, yeah, we are offsite. I think probably just something funny happened. You can see if the players could hear us, then Jack would have played Squish. And
And
so
I like this play, for when you can't see Squish, SH, that's a good play. QUENS, I mean, you can really do quite a bit with that next turn. Hoping, to pick up something good and perhaps get, get something down the, I guess, M column. Or wait, you guys don't have EA, do you? Never
No, we
mind.
do not. So
Whoosh.
interestingly, SH is going to leave exactly 7 tiles in the bag. And Jackson actually maybe just a little bit nervous. If I bingo now and you bingo out with a killer Q bingo, something that slots the Q on the double letter square and plays all the way from the triple to the S and brands, will I lose? What's in the bag? What could I draw? Let's get the unseen pool up on the screen, as the unseen pool looks extremely promising to Jackson. A bingo very likely to come down next turn. AEGINOOQRSTTTU. And especially after a play like SH, I might be in trouble. So Jackson's got to do a little bit of math here, figure out what is the absolute worst case bingo that Jack can have. What 7 tiles would I draw if he hits that? And will I be able to win this game? Now he's up comfortably, I bet, 57 points. He's going to bingo. Sponger would score 85. Spongers would score 83. Is that enough? Will that outrun everything?
And
I'm
yet
almost
again,
certain the
Jackson
answer is
is at
yes.
this point in his pre-end game where he has to calculate everything that could be coming back up against him. And this is where your tile tracking comes in handy. This is where your word knowledge comes in handy. And for tile tracking, I mean, it's quite possible to get it wrong. Scrabble players, for our viewers who are new to Scrabble, Scrabble players are allowed to have a record of all of the tiles that are in the bag, and they can strike them out as the tiles are played on the board, so that by the time you get to the end game, or the pre-end game in this case, you know what tiles are possibly in the bag or with your opponent. So that allows you to calculate what bingos could be coming up against you, which is why Jackson was able to play Waft last game and stop the possible Bedouins from coming down and him losing the game.
He'll be doing exactly the same here. You can see he's knocking out the most threatening line and the line that Jack is most likely to bingo to. He's playing, it looks like Springes here. Spongers would have been slightly more points, but I think Jackson,
Right.
concerned that he might draw the Q, wants to enable 2 spots to be guaranteed to play it. He's got QI plays next to Lintier, and now he's guaranteed QI plays on top of Springes should he draw that Q. And Jack's last play doesn't really imply a Q, so Jackson likely thinking he's going to draw it here, though he won't.
I believe he has to just go and play to that triple on the A column. I think there is really not much he can do here. Perhaps Queasy for, to the Y for 54 points, keeping NT, or perhaps Quate, QUATE, for 45 points, keeping NES. One of these options, I think, would be fine for him, but he is not going to be able to win this game, unfortunately.
Yeah, Jackson with another victory here. That'll push him up to 11-2, and he'll be sitting in great position after 2 games. Again, Jackson Smylie, winner of the Word Cup in Albany, New York 2 weeks ago, winning $10,000 there and doing what he can to win $10,000 more here in Las Vegas. He wants to pay off all of that brand new car that he just bought.
And Jackson, as always, phenomenal playing, just very beautifully just played and thought out. All of his moves are so well calculated. He knows what he needs to do to control the board, to control what he's going to pick up from the bag next. And even when it does go awry, when he does pick up, QU CUPBW, he knows what needs to be done for him to come back next turn.
So Queasy looks like the best play here, but it actually doesn't allow Jack to go out in 2. Better play for him would be Quate, QUATE,
I do like
2EE,
Quate,
and Lintier. Lets him go out in 2 for sure. But if he plays Queasy, he holds NT. He's left with just 1 outplay, and Jackson can and certainly will block that. Jackson will take the time, make sure he does the right thing. So Jackson's got to be careful. He wants to cash in the Q, wants to score points, but at the same time needs to make sure he's going out in 2.
So for our viewers here, let's make sure that we talk about what going out in 2 means. When we get to a point when there's no tiles in the bag, even in the pre-endgame or the endgame when there's no tiles in the bag, you want to make sure that when you play your tiles, you can get rid of all of your 7 tiles in 2 moves. You want to make sure that if you play something this turn, for the next turn, you're not stuck calculating 3 additional moves or like 1 additional move. You have to know, hey, do I have the capacity to use these tiles that I have left over in 2 separate spots so that I get whatever is left on my opponent's rack and it's doubled. So in the last game, we saw Jackson Smylie be stuck with the letter U. There was nowhere for him to play it. He did not have an out into when he played Chin as opposed to Chine, I think. So here, is a similar case where Jack has to think this out. He has to be like, okay, if I play Queasy, can I do anything with that N and T? And if I can't, then what else can I play that is high scoring enough? So in this case, Quate is a good play.
Yeah, getting that extra turn is always important in Scrabble. If you can play one more time than your opponent, it's a pretty big deal. And Jack doing the right thing here. Queasy looks like such an obvious insta play, and yet Quate, the right end game for him. He's going to save almost 30 spread points because of that. So really good decision here by Jack, as Jackson now gets to choose how to respond. He's got to figure out what he needs to block, if anything. Jackson can play Jog Trot again. He was able to play that at Word Cup as well, though it wasn't right play, and he forewent it there, and he's going to have to forego it here too, as it's not his best end game. I think the best out for Jack now is Jones, Jones. So Jackson's best plays are blocking that and forcing Jack to score significantly fewer points elsewhere.
Right.
Quackle, the engine, recommends Triol, Triol, to the first L in Mandrill as Jackson's best out, just stopping Jack from playing Jones. It'll force Jack to go out elsewhere. His best out then will only be 7 points. He can play either SEN along Abduce or SNYE through the Y in Yule. So his letters are great. ENS, he's going to go out no matter what next turn. But if Jackson can stop him from playing Jones, he'll net a few additional spread points.
All right. So he does not stop Jones from coming down, but that is perfectly fine. Jackson knows that he has won this game. It's yet again a decisive victory.
Yep, and Tog, instead of Trial, going to net him 6 spread points, assuming Jack does go out with Jones here. But it's 6 points. Jackson definitely more excited to have a victory. If you never lose, spread doesn't matter. So Jackson's going to keep.
There you go. Jackson has been Gibsonized in the past, and World Cup was just the same. He won more games than everyone else. He could not be caught.
Yeah, Gibsonization, a term named after the late, great David Gibson. David, super incredible Scrabble player and one of the nicest gentlemen on the scene, but also absolutely dominated the tournaments he went to very frequently, to the point where, often with 2 or 3 games to go, nobody could catch him. Gibson would be 11-1 with the next player at, 8-4. So with 2 or 3 games to play, nobody could potentially catch him, and they'd say, forget it. We're going to have the people who are 8-4 play against each other. Everybody now racing for second place, as Gibson has Gibsonized himself yet again. A testament to what a great player he was. And we all miss you, David. It's such a tragic, sudden and abrupt end to such a storied career, as he suffered from and died of pancreatic cancer just a few years ago. Loss of a giant. R.I.P. David Gibson, and your legacy will forever live on with that term of Gibsonization.
So just to confirm, the final score here now is 493 for Jackson Smylie to 402 for Jack Peters. Yet another beautiful game to see. Mandrill coming down with Springes, Achiotes, or Achiotes, I guess. Really, really beautifully played on both ends. This is, just yet another game that's just a pleasure to watch and a pleasure to analyze.
Yeah, Jackson always puts on great games for us. No exception this time. Pedicabs would have been incredible and would have helped him score 500. But, whiz versus was, little things. And
It's
I
the
still would
little
have made the
things.
play he likes. I was sold on it. It just, how do you know you're going to drop pedicabs, man? Come on.
You don't. That's how Scrabble works. The variance is much too high. It is much too high.
Absolutely. Well, this concludes round 13. We have one more game today, playing 7 games a day. We will be back on again tomorrow, bright and early for your West Coasters at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Noon is when games will start on the East Coast. So we hope to see y'all there. Tomorrow will be all NWL broadcast. At least that is the plan at this point in time. So hop on in, join us. And if you don't like NWL, welcome join us anyway, or go back on our archive on Twitch. You'll find some CSW games in round 2, 3, and 4 yesterday, and rounds 9 and 10 from today's coverage. We're going to cut to a brief intermission again. We will have one more game for y'all in just a few minutes from bright, sunny, hot Las Vegas.
Don't go anywhere, you guys.